Probably, I am the most non-standard Papadenis. Well, I have not heard or read about such, but I have read a lot. Well, a lot. A familiar scenario, hit by a car, bang, already in another world. There are many variations of death, electrocuted, stabbed, shot, or a plane crash, and for some, without any adventures at all. I went to bed at home and woke up already a hitman. Well, okay. Now briefly about me. Born, lived, died. The born phase can be omitted. I generally do not remember myself well as a child. The lived phase was a success. I lived well, just fine. No, really. I studied well, found a well-paid, dust-free job. I had a 2-bedroom apartment and a car. On the personal front, everything is fine. There is a hobby, if you can call it that, watching anime, reading manga, fan fiction, and all sorts of fiction, mysticism, and a little bit of playing all sorts of RPG. On the last point, died is no longer so rosy. Well, yes, what good can there be in death, especially in one's own, and not a much-loved neighbor from the top floor. One not very beautiful Sunday afternoon, I went out on the balcony to smoke. Yes, the Ministry of Health correctly warns that smoking is harmful to health, but so be it. In general, the picture, I'm standing, smoking, leaning on the fence, admiring the view of the city. Suddenly, the fastening of this grating on the right side breaks out, and I fall off the balcony. You will say, nothing like that fell from the balcony. So this is just the beginning. Not only did I survive, it was only 3 floors to fly. And besides, I slowed down my flight against a tree and plopped down on the bushes. Yes, it was scratch, but nothing fatal. So I'm lying on a prickly shrub, contemplating the sky. It turned out to be especially beautiful. And out of the corner of my eye I notice how the same lettuce breaks off from my balcony and flies down. It is because of her that I rest unscheduled. She's clearly aiming at me. Noticing this fact, I managed to bend the obscene structure, at least a 3-story mat, and roll slightly to the side. As it turned out to no avail, the grate hit me on the head. Well, that seems to be it. Hello, new world. What now? My luck is still with me, and I'm still alive. I saved my life and got a healthy bump. The doctors diagnosed me with a concussion of what replaces the brain and loaded me into an ambulance. On the highway, a chemist crashes into our car. And even this is not the end of the story of my death. I got off with a slight fright and a couple of abrasions. Alas, this cannot be said about the ambulance crew. Well, I was well fixed on the gurney, and the gurney was also hopefully attached in the car. Just the other day, the fleet of cars was replenished with modern models. It was the governor who broke up before the election, so I was lucky not to die in a banal car accident. And again, I missed the ticket to a new life. They took me to the hospital after all. There I was handed over to the emergency room. I was safely forgotten there. What did you want? We have free medicine. I was discovered by the evening shift. More precisely, they did not remember, but stumbled upon an unaccounted body on an unaccounted gurney. My mortal carcass gave rise to a debate. The previous shift hurried home and denied me, and the current shift refused to take the body that came from nowhere. After half an hour of heated discussions, the gurney was sent. No, not to the morgue. There were such proposals, but I was still showing signs of life, so the disputants agreed on resuscitation. The emergency room was on the 1st floor of the hospital, as was the morgue, and the intensive care unit was already on the 3rd floor. Naturally, everyone moved to the elevator. On the way, I saw a room with the designations MW, which I have been really wanting to visit for a long time. What I told my guides about. And maybe you will be patient. I answered with a categorical refusal and insisted that I tolerate it in the morning and nothing else. If they don't want to wash the gurney and the elevator, then they need to make a stop. While we were arguing, some grandfather in a wheelchair got into the elevator and started climbing. However, as soon as the elevator reached the last floor, we heard the sound of a cable tearing and the elevator falling. In general, going to the room with the designations MW was no longer relevant. I was finally taken to the intensive care unit by stairs. On the way up, I was almost dropped 6 times and still dropped twice. I still can't figure out how I didn't break my neck. For the first time, the wheel of the gurney fell off. In the second, the straps with which I was attached to the gurney broke. In the ward, I was sure that my torment was over. Oh, how naive I was. I survived 3 more times that night only by a miracle. At first, by mistake, I was taken for surgery, where I almost died from anesthesia. Now I know I'm allergic to it. The next day my girlfriend visited me. I was so glad to see her. She also brought some goodies. I chew with a feeling that life is getting better. It was she who told about the tonight episodes. How it happened, I didn't listen. The very fact that these 2 times were enough for me, but they passed me by. And here we come to the culmination of this epic story of my death. It took about 10 minutes after my girlfriend left. Doctors pronounced him dead from suffocation. I choked on a cherry stone. Chapter 1. That's how my life ended. I was plunged into darkness. Then I realized that I was hanging in the middle of some white infinite space in the form of a spirit. Yes, the spirit. Well, the translucent arms, torso, and lack of legs hinted at this subtly. I would have already started to turn around in search of the golden gate with the inscription Paradise, but then a sign popped up in front of my nose. It read, "Congratulations. You were able to accomplish the almost impossible. You survived despite all the efforts of the angel of death to take you away. Only 3 mortals can boast of such an achievement in the entire history of this world. You are rewarded to live another life. You keep your memory and experience of a previous life. Agree, yes, no, hooray." And I already thought that luck had left me. Of course, click yes. I hope my next life will be happy and long. I almost reached for the yes button with my finger, but another sign popped up. "Congratulations. You were able to do the impossible. You died very stupidly. They've already given up on you with a bony hand, but your way of death has made some gods laugh." At the same time, they brought one angel of death to hysteria and PSE from their position. No one before you can boast of such an achievement. You are the first. For this, you get a unique opportunity to choose one superpower from the list of available ones. Choose a world for rebirth from the list of available ones. Choose the character you will be reborn into from the list of available ones. Agree, yes, no, yes. Somehow it doesn't come out unambiguously. It seems cool. He managed to make the gods laugh and to bring the angel of death. Achievements are questionable, even a little insulting for a very stupid death from a bone. But figs with him, with the achievement. The main thing is buns. There are many of them. They are different, and all very tasty. One can only hope that the angel of death, or whoever he is working there now, not vindictive got caught. I want a fantasy world with magic, and a character with 100% guarantee of possession of this very magic. And, of course, up to a bunch of additional superpowers. That's how lucky I was. Oh, how I'll turn around. So both signs say yes. You are rewarded to live another life. You keep your memory and experience of a previous life. The process of merging the soul shells responsible for mind and memory with the soul core has been launched. 1%. Please wait. 16%. Please wait. 54%. Please wait. 83%. Please wait. Yes, as much as possible. I've been here forever. Does the system work on the first stump? Or am I such a lucky guy with a long download? Only it didn't break off, it didn't fail. I don't want to lose even a piece of memory. 99%. Please wait. 100%. The process of merging the soul shells responsible for mind and memory with the soul core has been successfully completed. Who? Well, thank the gods who are responsible for this. The process of rebirth of 1% has been launched. Please expect a mistake. What are you doing? What kind of a fucking mistake? Due to the unique situation and the introduction of additional items, the process of rebirth is temporarily suspended. Select additional items. Start selecting additional items. Yes, no, it's good that I'm already dead. So I would have died of a broken heart again. Of course, yes. Item number 1 is choosing a world for rebirth from the list of available ones. The list of available worlds is provided by the Lord of Hell, in gratitude for the new employee. Compiled by the demon of the third circle, Fiery Hell, responsible for the cauldron number 16,565,156,454,454. P.S. We are looking forward to visiting the forgettable former angel of death. Something in my ass intuition just screams about problems. Okay, we need to look at the list. It can't be that bad. List of available worlds. Number 1. The World of Naruto. Number 2. The World of Naruto. Dark version. Number 3 is the World of Naruto. Hardcore version. Select one of the suggested options to continue. What the fuck choice? I can't see him point blank. Here's a hit. It's still revenge, and revenge is terrible. Okay, calm down. The world is not so bad. Chakra. Various techniques are quite interesting and promising. The main thing is not to get involved in the events of the canon. If you climb, then at a minimum and with benefit for yourself. Here I will choose some kind of laugh body, and I will live quietly for myself. So, we take the first number. Others do not inspire confidence at all. Knowing the future, even an approximate one, is already a significant advantage. In other variants, judging from their name, the canon will wave a pen at the beginning. Definitely click the item number once. Further, item number 2 is the choice of the character you will be reborn into from the list of available ones. List of characters provided by death, and now it's definitely a complete S. For the loss of an employee, I definitely won't get anything good. I think I even know what options there will be. Naruto, and, of course, Naruto. Nothing will break through. Other Poppadents somehow survived. And why am I worse? The main thing is not to get burned and not get to the Oni mummy. List of available characters. Number 1 Naruto Uzumaki. Number 2 Naruto Uzumaki. Number 3 Manma Namikaze. Select one of the suggested options to continue. That was what needed to be proved. Definitely, I take the first option. The second one frankly scares me, and the third one does not inspire confidence. In the first one, at least I know what to expect. In the third, it is unknown what will happen. Manma seemed to be called Naruto from a parallel world, where Tobi threw him and Sakura. Naruto's parents are alive there. Akatsuki are Konoha's allies. Kiba is an inadequate cat lover. Lee is a transvestite. Hinata is a bitch. That's all my meager knowledge of that world. The familiar canon is better, and this is the first. However, the life of a drug addict is such that no hell is needed. Everything is within the limits of his native village. But even in this position, you can find your advantages. There are few of them, but still the last Uzumaki has a good potential. If this canonical natural blonde could hang everyone. And I can do it too, and maybe even better. Secondly, he has a 9-tailed chakra reactor that responds to Kyuubi. Third, Hinata. Yes, AA, in love with Naraka Hinata. Yes, this kawaii concentrate is at the beginning of the series, and the same kawaii concentrate, but already with a 4th or 5th size. I will definitely check it manually and more than once. And yes, I got distracted. So, we take the first item and see what kind of superpower will be. Item number 3 is the selection of superpowers from the list of available ones. The list of superpowers is provided by the God of Games and, oh, the God of Games, it's kind of good. It seems I didn't have time to annoy him. Well, I really hope so. I was a little fond of games, but I still played and played well. I hope I get that variability. Yes, that's the one. Well, fingers crossed. Let's pray to the God of Games. The list of available superpowers. Number 1 is the Ability System Player. The standard version is. Number 2 is the Ability System Player version. Number 3, Ability System Player version 1000. Yes. Hooray. That's it. I understand. Lucky so lucky. At first glance, the choice is also not very diverse, but it only seems. What other superpower can you expect from the God of Games? Of course, a gamer. With this mod and with the knowledge of the canon, I will ban everyone there. Hinata will be mine. What's their Hinata? Harem? I decided I will have a harem like any normal Poppadents. Muahaha. Fa fake. So remember to rehearse a villainous laugh, otherwise I'm in the form of a spirit, but it still didn't work out the first time. I don't want to be an evil spirit. Sadness is trouble. Okay, put aside obscene dreams and villainous plans for the future. That's the first thing. And it's not fucking clear. And how do they actually differ? We will reason logically. The standard version means that this is the standard. And yes, it makes sense. Version is a bonus of some kind sewn to the standard. As for version T1000, I don't even know. There are no associations. In a previous life, they did not prepare for this at school. My self-education in fan fiction rests only on the mention of the gamer system and about some buns of the player version. As for me, there were few differences. All the same eggs, only in profile. We don't look at the first point. That's enough. I've already typed the first ones. It's time to choose something else for a change. The second point looks safer, and the third one is newer and more promising. The latest version is always better and more perfect, but the old one is more reliable. So, what is the exclamation mark next to each item? I'll try to click on just in case the fireman is opposite the second option, otherwise suddenly the choice will count. At the moment, I'm still leaning towards the latter. And a short description. The list of available superpowers. Number 1. The Ability System Player Version Standard. Number 2. The Ability System Player Version. A short description. Basic Set Version Standard. Forum, Store, Auction. Number 3 is the Ability System Player Version T1000. Well, now at least something has become clear. Thank you, Bud of Games. Otherwise I had a premonition of a setup, and here everything is convenient and clear. Let's see what the basic set is. Click on the icon opposite the first item. List of available superpowers. Number 1. Ability System Player Version Standard. Basic set. 1. Player's Body. 2. Player's Mind. 3. Generation of quests and tasks. 4. Creating illusory barriers. Number 2 is the Ability System Player Version. Number 3 is the Ability System Player Version T3000. That's what I understand superpowers so much. And all mine. Muhahaha. Fake. It's already better, but training is still needed. And now let's see what gives us the most interesting point. List of available superpowers. Number 1. Ability System Player Version Standard. Number 2. Ability System Player Version. Number 3. Ability System Player Version T1000. Short description. Basic set version. Original and individual attitude of the system to the user. The user can, theoretically, negotiate or even, theoretically, persuade the system to issue, change or cancel any task or quest. Just like that. I never would have thought that it was possible. A thin, annoying, measured squeak distracted me. What's that beeping about him? This is a clock with a reverse report. 37, peak, 36, peak, 35, peak, until the end of the selection of additional items left. Timer, 33 seconds. Damn, the third item is urgent. There is no time to view the details. How did I not notice this fucking watch before? Well, figs with them. The main thing is that I managed. The selection of additional items is completed. 1. The World of Rebirth Naruto 2. The character in which the rebirth is carried out, Naruto Uzumaki 3. Superpower the player system. Version T1000 confirm reject. Confirm. Hurry up. Until the time is up the process of rebirth has resumed. 2%. Please wait. 10%. The world of rebirth is defined. 25%. The character of rebirth is determined. 50%. The beginning of the installation of the superpower system player. Version T1000 62%. Please wait. 86%. Please wait. 99%. The player system. Version T1000 has been successfully installed. 100%. Wish you a pleasant rebirth. The download process is over. Darkness surrounded me. A moment, a flash of blinding light. Darkness again. And I passed out. Chapter 2. The awakening was unpleasant. That's an understatement. I woke up from nothingness. I didn't have time to orient myself, as I was drawn somewhere. Then I felt a blow reverberating all over my body. It seems that the blow itself fell in the area of the back, but it is not more accurate to make out. I tried to protest, but my throat and lungs burned with pain. I started crying. Almost immediately after this unworthy act of a real man, I was wrapped in a soft cloth and put somewhere. I tried to open my eyes. I succeeded on the fourth attempt, but everything was blurry in front of me. I couldn't recognize anything in this haze. It is also useless to hope by ear. The sounds have mixed into a cacophony without a single chance to catch and understand anything concrete. I spat on the futile attempts of the researcher, relaxed, and thought about the current situation. The conclusions made me sad. According to current events, I was a baby a few minutes old. No, of course, I'm very glad that I'm alive again. The initial joy was overshadowed by a discrepancy. The newborn's body did not fit well with my adult consciousness. As soon as the storm of indignation subsided, I remembered who the body originally belonged to. The mood generally dropped below the level of the baseboard. I was persistently pulled out of depression. Something picked me up from my cozy, warm place. This odd black with red speckles lifted me up and began to shake me slightly. The incessant energetic noise testified that this someone was probably talking to me. Much later it dawned on me that it was Toby. At the time of these squeezes, I was exhausted in body, yet just born, and soul. What the hell is going on here? The only desire is to forget yourself with sleep. The attraction that began abruptly cheered me up. I remember a strong shaking, flickering, and a series of loud noises. As time passed, I deciphered it as juggling with me, acrobatic tricks, and active attempts to kill someone nearby. The last forces are spent. I fell into darkness. The next awakening was marked by a significant improvement in vision. I saw everything in spots, but now the figures standing in front of me looked like people and not like blurry-colored blots. The woman with blood red, hair had a soft, melodious voice. Kushina Uzumaki. A blonde man was standing behind her. Minato Namikaze. There was something red behind them that looked like a mountain. They were telling me something. Unfortunately, I didn't understand anything. They fell silent. The fourth said something. All this red mountain, rolling heart-rendingly, something obscene and not lower than the 10th floor, rushed at me, more precisely, into the seal on my stomach. It's a terrible sight. It felt like I was both in boiling water and chained in ice at the same time. I lost consciousness. This is the second flight into the darkness for my birthday. As soon as I was in the mood to enjoy unconsciousness, the system declared itself. The system player. Version 3000 welcomes the user player. Start system activation. Start installing basic abilities. Yes, of course. Yes. I have a feeling that I should have taken the version system. Okay, select the yes button. The process of installing basic abilities has been started. 1%, 16%, 39%, 68%, 89%, 99%, 100%. The installation has been successfully completed. The process was by no means instantaneous. It stretched out so much in time with a characteristic squeak that I was completely immersed in memories. It's like I'm installing something on my first computer. Congratulations! You are the first user activating the system player. Version 3000. Reward. Upgrade of the player's basic abilities. Player's body is a passive skill. The user's body takes on the character's body. Taking any damage takes HP, heal point, unit of health, as long as the user has at least 1 HP. The body's health reserve can be restored. Additionally, the maximum one-time damage is available health reserve, 1 HP. Even a head cut down with one blow of the sword will not kill you, saving 1 HP. The minimum damage is equal to 1 HP. Any damage cannot be less than 1 HP. Beware of large swarms of mosquitoes. Player mind is a passive skill. The user's mind remains calm in any situation. Immunity to mental attacks. Additionally, the energy of the Everlost has affected your cockroaches. The cockroaches of your consciousness have mutated into xenomorphs. Stage of activity. Active settlement of your subconscious mind, combined with the print space. D.S. Kyubi nostalgically recalls the living conditions in print at Uzumaki Kushina. He thanks Shinigami and the Fourth for installing a solid grill. He curses the current bearer of the seal. Other system functions are not available. Completion of system calibration is required. Timer, 3 years, 364 days, 11 hours, 6 minutes. System player. Version T1000 apologizes profoundly for the inconvenience. The system temporarily says goodbye to you. And what was that just now? What the fuck is the calibration for 4 years? So, we pull ourselves together. One cyborg on Jam Craving said, calm down. Only calmness. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Everything. It seems to have let go. Now I would like to deal with the opportunities that have fallen in. The basic parameters of the body and mind are clear. Descriptions of additional features raise more questions than answers. One thing is for sure, Imba, I can survive decapitation. Here my body lies on the sidelines, regenerates HP, and how it jumps on the executioner from behind. Plus psychological trauma. A headless corpse is taking revenge. It's just too early to rejoice. There's an unverified but, a severed head, falling to the ground, gets a fatal 1 HP. If so, then I am actually experiencing the execution, but I am dying from a collision of my forehead with the floor. If so, then there is no use of this cheat. And it's a shame. I have karma. And it seems that she is clearly bad. It's stupid to die once, so there are all the prerequisites. One warning about mosquitoes is worth it. To die from their bites can also pull on a repeat achievement of Make the Gods Laugh. Cockroaches. Excellent protection against intruders. I even feel sorry for those unfortunate people who will try to get into my head. If my memory serves me right, then at the beginning of the second season, Sasuke got into the subconscious of Narek. There he saw a fox. Now such a feat can benefit the world. There will be one less Uchiha. And now the obvious drawbacks. First of all, I do not know how to establish a relationship with Kyuubi. He will definitely send me to hell. And I am in solidarity with him with such and such neighbors. Secondly, won't these creatures devour me if I poke into the subconscious? I have already checked out the mind of the player. The hysteria subsides faster. Immunity to someone else's mental influence is the main patch on the leaky head of a drug addict. This was his main vulnerability. Now I don't care about all sorts of gloomy red-eyed or a clan of blonde brainbags. The calibration will last for years. Well, figs with this. What are the quests for an infant? But they waved the buns anyway and put them on a higher shelf. Not everything is as bad as it seemed at the beginning. But the persistent feeling of a BA did not let go. Being in my thoughts, I missed the appearance of new actors. A detachment arrived at the place of Kenning the Fox. A crowd. The band. Figs will understand how many of them, and were led by the third Hawkeye. I recognized him by a darker spot. My eyesight is clearly progressing, and this pleases. The image of a black jumpsuit rose in memory, as during the battle in the cannon with Orochimaru. Whether the old man was wearing the same outfit, I can't guarantee. He was the only one who stood out on the identical Enbu. The Enbu quickly dispersed across the territory. Hiruzen and one ninja stayed by my side. One or the other periodically ran up to the main one with a report. Left alone, the old macaque was talking to a subordinate in the mask of some bird. Not a sparrow, not a heron. This same bird examined my seal and commented, very emotionally, "It is not so insulting that these figures first of all check the seal, and not the state of health of the baby lying in the open air. It's more insulting that I didn't understand a word of their conversations. My fate is being decided here, and I don't even know." Maybe right now the macaque has relaxed and, in the circle of loyal people, gives out his terribly secret and insidious plans. Where is justice? Why do I have no knowledge of the local language? All the Papadans cheat on the local no worse than on the great and mighty. Wherever they go to howl on the horns. I'm the only one who's so unlucky and wrong. Whimper whimper. System, where's my knowledge of the language? Oh, I'm asking you. Oh, yeah. You're in the download. I was released again from the hysteria that had begun. After all, the player mind ability is a great thing. Peace of mind is worth a lot, but not now. Hiruzen began to look at me unkindly with extreme suspicion. Well, what about it? Here is a newborn baby frozen on a cold stone. silent and only gazing intently at your face. It's pretty weird. If you consider that a nine-tailed fox demon has just been sealed into this very child, then it is suspiciously triple. It was at this moment that I let go of the steel control and let the remnants of hysteria escape out. My crying and kicking averted suspicions that the fox had seized control of the body. At least that's what I decided, because a medic came up to me, and not a team of specialists in sealing. Irianen waved his glowing green hands over me for 10 minutes. I'm fascinated. It looked awesome cool. I want it that way too. When the system returns, I will immediately run to the hospital to enroll in courses. And yes, the mind of the player is not such a useful thing at first glance. The skill extinguishes strong emotions, both negative and positive. Although the idea of studying for Irianen is sensible, only with Naruto's reputation and the general mood of the village against him, I won't have to run to the hospital. So the mortal carcass will be carried. My gloomy reasoning was interrupted by Irianen. The same or the other. You'll figure it out. He continued to light me up with his palms and move them around my face. I was pulled into a dream, and my consciousness turned off. In an underground room, an old man of slim build and medium height was sitting at a large wooden table littered with various folders and scrolls. The face is slightly oval, dotted with wrinkles and battle scars. The nose is slightly convex, lips pursed. The right eye and forehead are wrapped in a white bandage. Black greasy strands of hair stick out on top of his head. There is a scar in the form of a cross on his chin. He was distracted from carefully studying the documents by a ninja in the form of Enmu who appeared in front of the table, with a faceless mask included. Report, Shimura ordered curtly. Yes, Denzo-sama. Despite the heavy losses, we managed to put the bookmarks on the vessel of the Nine-Tailed. The subordinate bowed deeply. What are the losses and their cause? For mentalists, the reason was an unknown protection. We assume that this is the work of Kushina Uzumaki. The mind of the first mentalist who came into contact with the vessel was destroyed after 7 seconds. The next attempt was made by a group of 3 more experienced specialists. The minds of the second and third were destroyed 32 and 49 seconds after the start of contact. The commander of the group was able to break contact with the object. He managed to report the success of the operation and then fell into a frenzy. Return the vessel to its original place. Provide reports on the investigation of the bodies of the dead and the mind of the survivor. Shimura thought hard. What did this Bijeva Uzumaki do? The team of elite mentalists in a prepared laboratory and the absence of resistance from the object was able to complete the task at the cost of their lives. It is necessary to get to the scrolls with techniques before the people of Hiruzen. Looking at the huge mountain of documents on the table, Sarutobi Hiruzen was no longer happy about his restoration to the post of Kage. The general meeting was too hard. The main tension due to the question what to do with the new Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed. Denzo went off the chain, wanting to take him to the root. The elders supported the leader of the root, but the clan heads and many Junins were categorically against it. Among the clans, there were many who wanted to shelter an orphan Jinchuriki. That's where their unanimity came to an end. Each put forward his candidacy and rejected the others. Eventually, Hiruzen had to step in. After a long debate, they decided on universal non-interference and the life of Jinchuriki and the secrecy of information about him. Jinchuriki Hiruzen himself worried no less than Denzo's strange swarming, and maybe more. The baby looked at him too understandingly and scrutinizingly then. How not to get another coming of the fox? That's why he asked Inoichi Yamanaka to check Naruto's consciousness for the presence of the influence of the Nine-Tailed. Well, put a couple of bookmarks just in case. A few hours later, Inoichi Yamanaka entered the Hokage's office, knocking softly. When looking at him, Sarutobi choked on smoke. What happened? Hokage couldn't contain his excitement. Inoichi looked up at him with a haggard look. Hiruzen had often seen such a look in times of war from fighters who miraculously got out of some bloody meat grinder. Only now did the Hokage notice glimpses of gray in Yamanaka's hair and a general pallor. Squinting, he also noted a strong checkered exhaustion. I have completed the Naruto check at your request. Inoichi replied in a quiet, monotone voice. And what did you find out? Hiruzen tensed up a lot, expecting the worst. The check did not reveal any, even minimal, effect of the Kyuubi chakra on Naruto's mind. There are no traces of other interventions in his consciousness. At the same time, it turned out that Uzumaki has an unknown defense of consciousness, which it is not possible to overcome. What about an additional assignment? Hokage asked calmly and relaxed. It's impossible. I'm not going in there anymore. Yamanaka almost jumped up from the sofa with a shout. After sending Inoichi home with a week's vacation, Hiruzen thought hard about the current situation with Naruto. It's good that the boy's mind is not affected by the fox. This is the end of the good news. Naruto's impenetrable defense takes time to research, and there is no time. Danzo has already found out about her. Now you have to fend off his annoying interest. There is a rout in the village. Priority tasks to restore the defense of the village and resume the economy associated with the missions. The battle is a battle, and losing the trust of wealthy regular customers will cost Konoha dearly. The sea of other things also requires close attention. Hiruzen sensibly reasoned that the solution of pressing matters is more important, and Naruto is not going anywhere. It is enough to put a temporary guard on him. Thus, the issue with the last Uzumaki was postponed until better times.